Showtime, Francis.
Hi,
And
Maeve.
we are live. Happy New Year, Francis.
Happy New Year, Maeve. And Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year. It feels like ages since I've seen you.
Well, it is. It's been a while,
Yeah.
hasn't it?
I can't even remember the last time. That would have been something constructive I could have checked up on. So I just have to, my background is annoying me. I can only see 3 prongs of my flower, so I'm going to bring in a few more prongs.
Very nice.
Now, there we go.
There, that's lovely.
Here we are setting up the background, things we should have done before we went live. But anyway,
Yeah, I don't have a very nice background.
it's just perfect. So,
November. I think it was November.
oh my goodness, November. And here we are on day 2 of our third lockdown.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
So, what I decided to do, Francis, remember our very first time we went live and we were doing our 28-day gratitude challenge?
Yeah.
Well, I have decided, since then I did a solo gig
I
on my own
remember that.
page of a 28-day challenge using the book The Magic Again. And keeping with tradition, third lockdown, I've started again.
Good woman. Well, that's a nice thing to do.
Yeah. And then it corresponds nicely with the 1st of January too.
Yeah, 1st of January. Wow. God. Like, last year doesn't seem that long ago in many
We didn't
ways.
know each other. We didn't know each other this time last year.
No, we didn't. Only by text. Because I think I was doing the daily posts
That's right.
in January. So
And Mary has taken over the daily posts for this January.
yeah, I would
And
have really
sorry,
liked to do it. But I just know I wouldn't be able to devote the time.
yeah.
But I'd like to. I'm not writing the way I'd like to write. There you go.
So Mary, if you haven't seen it on our Facebook page, Irish Counselling Online, Mary has started to do the 100 walks in 100 days with Ciara Kelly from RTE Radio 1, I think.
News talk.
News Talk. And she's looking for support to help her do that. So if you haven't tuned into the Irish Online Counselling page, Mary is starting her own challenge today on the hashtag post thing. So you can tune into that if you want to become part of that group.
Very good.
And it's so normal now to talk about being in support groups
Mm-hmm.
like it never was before.
No, I know. That's what we're doing now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
And we even started off as a support system during the first lockdown.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How do you feel about the third lockdown?
um, I know we would have talked a lot on the first lockdown about fear and anxiety, a lot around first time and the presence of police and I'd be first to admit I was like, for God's sake, like. But this time, with the spread of it being so big, it's bigger now than it was when we started off. It certainly has given me time to think, oh, Jeannie Mackers. So I'm now on lockdown 3, a little bit more anxious than I was on lockdown 1. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm just noticing an interference. I don't know if you are, Maeve. It could be just
Uh,
me.
could be the internet.
Yeah.
Catherine has joined us. Hello, Catherine. Are you noticing an interference?
Now,
So
I did get a little message up when I was joining the link, so it could just be me. So if I'm kind of, squinting at you, I'm trying to make out exactly what you're saying.
okay, I'll slow down. So
Yeah.
did you get that, my response there to how I'm feeling about lockdown 3?
Yeah, that there's anxiety. Yeah. Did I get that right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
More so now than in the first
Yeah.
lockdown, which
Yeah. Yes. And I suppose for me personally, I'm just hearing about it a lot more than, in closer circles than I would have done back in March and April.
yeah. So people we now know have been infected with the coronavirus, which brings it very close to home.
Yes. Yeah. 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 And you're just hearing more of it, I suppose. Yeah. But it's again, as I spoke about the last time, don't experience lockdowns really the way others do because I work in a school, so that's still going ahead. But yeah, it you can see it, you hear it, that people are finding them hard. They're anxiety provoking, and I think there's just a general exhaustion from it. Yeah.
But I feel more supported now in it than at the beginning.
Mm.
There is more support out there for me that I'm tapping into. There's more people I can phone up. Friends that I haven't talked to in ages now are all reaching out and we're reconnecting. So in that way, I feel an easier way of connecting with people without actually having to go to the places they are.
Mm. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, because we're tapping into those resources that we found back in March, that were set up, I suppose.
Yeah. Catherine has just written back, no, I haven't experienced any interference. I'm more annoyed with people who are not adhering to what needs to be done. So that's how she's feeling with this third lockdown.
Yeah.
That why aren't people adhering to what needs to be done? Yeah. I think maybe, are we a bit braver? Or are we, I don't know.
That's my mother, isn't it?
It is.
Yes. Yeah, no, I mean, but I think, and I know I've spoken about her, from the early days, my mother she does what's asked of her, and she has always done what is asked of her. And I think there are so many like that. So it has to be difficult. And I mean, I think I do what has been asked of me. But I do go to school because the schools are open. But I think for people who are at home all of the time, it's hard to see maybe when others aren't as, I don't want to say considerate, but I kind of do.
Yeah. I know, remember when it was difficult for you not seeing your mum and dad at the first lockdown.
Yeah.
And then now, and you were, then the restrictions loosened, you were able to go to the garden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what we did at Christmas, as well as the Zoom, like Zoom chats. I went up on Christmas Day to the garden, we were masked up and coats on and hats on, and yeah, and that's how we visited, which is very different to how we would normally do Christmas. But yeah, these things, I suppose, need to be done. And I suppose I'm mindful of other people who, I think we've spoken about it before, we're all in our trauma response, so people are just going to come from that place. So yeah, I try to be mindful, but I would like to be able to get to the point where I can visit my parents like I used to, and I haven't had that yet. And
Michelle,
I know my own.
sorry. Yeah. You're not the only one, that.
No,
but it's great for have a voice here. Michelle has just joined us. Hello, Michelle. Happy New Year. She says she works in a medical center, and it's so frustrating and stressful. Some people just don't listen and can be extremely rude at times.
Yeah.
So as a frontline worker, Michelle, I'd say that's even more apparent for you. Yeah.
No, and that's I think about people who are working in hospitals, people who are working in the supermarkets, truck drivers, delivery drivers. There's so many people who are, they're just up against it.
Yeah.
So I think of those people mostly. Because I don't feel like, for me personally, I don't feel like I am being asked a whole lot. But I would like to see my family. In the way that I...
To hug them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know I'm not on my own in that.
So that keeps me focused as well. At least I'm helping keep my mother as healthy as possible.
Yeah.
By not hugging her.
Yeah, I know.
So
how different, isn't it?
Yeah. But in a lot of respects, it's easy for me. I live in a beautiful part of the world, on the side of a mountain, surrounded by nature, and no people anyway. So I feel very blessed for my location.
Yeah.
So I just have to go out up and down the road for my exercise, and I don't see anybody hardly. But
yeah. Your lovely neck of the woods.
Now you still haven't been able to come and visit, Frances. Imagine. We had great plans last year for you to come and visit.
Yeah. Oh, it'll happen. It'll happen.
And the pub's still closed. Who would have ever thought that the pubs in Ireland would still be closed, and now all the restaurants again? It's just bizarre. So hopefully now this will be the lockdown that will be the end of lockdowns, the lockdown that finishes lockdowns.
Yeah, well, I suppose who knows what way it's going to go over the next few days or next couple of weeks, but I'm guessing it's going to be a little bit of in and out until the vaccine is here and until that's rolled out.
And in the meantime, to know that we're here to support you. We mightn't be here every day live like we used to be, but the team at Irish Online are here for support. You can always drop us a text and we'll get back to your comment. And it's lovely knowing that you're there, Frances, for texting as well, checking in.
Likewise, yeah. The weeks seem to just, well, for me, they seem to have gone by very quick.
And how's life as a nana been treating you?
Really good, really good. He's not here at the minute, otherwise I'd bring him in and say hello. He's great, and I suppose he's a great joy. I mean, it's just so lovely to see a baby. I suppose because I'm that bit older and I'm not the mother, I'm the nana. It just affords me to be in a lovely place to watch a little baby, and just grow and develop, and his little personality. He's amazing. As is his mommy and daddy. You know, they're amazing.
Yeah.
It's lovely to watch.
So, how old is he now, Frances?
He was 4 months on the 15th. I should say now he'll be 5 months on the 15th of January.
Wow.
Yeah. He's very funny. He has the greatest laugh. Like, he's just got the funniest laugh. Yes, those little things. And I don't know whether I said it before. I'm not a lover of Christmas, but I was really excited this Christmas, and I really enjoyed it. It's lovely. And
Because
I
of
think well, I think that was a big part of it, but also I don't know, there was something different about this Christmas, that if you were that kind of person that you quite like just not buying into the pressure and the expectation, and just saying, look, I'm at home. I don't have to be anywhere or do anything, and I liked that.
So, a new tradition, maybe lockdown Christmas every year.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of my family likes that too. But yeah, we had a lovely day, a really lovely day, a lovely few days. And sorry, I mean, I'm off. I'm off for 2 weeks, and it's just been so lovely, that breather. So I'm so happy.
So Paul has just joined us. Happy New Year, Paul. And he says, better to keep fully isolated and stay safe than to take any risks. For people still working from home, with all outside sport and social pastimes put on hold, are there any simple feel-good tips to practice every day to help feel positive as each day goes by? So, on our first and second lockdown, Paul, we were doing everyday chats, myself and Frances, and we were getting lots of tips from everybody that was joining us. And we even did a 28-day gratitude challenge. So we started being grateful for even one thing every day. So I hear, Frances, you were grateful for your lockdown Christmas.
Yes.
You didn't have to get caught up in the pressure.
Yeah, and again, I suppose it might sound contradictory, because I was saying I want to see my family, which and both those things exist at the same time. And I talk a lot about that with, I'm sure you do too, with clients, is that, you know, opposing things can exist at the same time. Lots of different things can exist at the same time. Yeah. So while well, sorry, I lost my train of thought there, because you said something and I'm that's why I said that. But was that a little bit of a tangent?
No, I think it's okay. No, Paul was just looking for simple feel-good tips to practice every day to help feel positive as each
Oh, yeah.
day goes.
So being grateful as the positive. And I suppose as well, just acknowledging that at times it's really hard and we are exhausted. And as you said earlier, we can be anxious. It is anxiety provoking when you see the numbers rise and you hear the new strain and, oh, it's very infectious and contagious. And again, as I was saying, you know, when you hear it coming closer to home. So yeah, to just acknowledge all the emotions that brings up.
Exercise, of course, is good. Using that fresh air thing to get endorphins going, because it's so easy to get stuck behind the computer.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just sit here for the day and not go outside, especially when it's cold and wet.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I told you, Frances, but we are getting a little addition to this house.
Oh.
To help us with our walking, and we collect her on Sunday. And you put
exciting. Oh my goodness. Friend for Charlie.
Friend for Charlie. So her name is Fly. And
her name is what?
Fly.
Fly.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know.
No. Is that her name, or did you name her that?
Well, kind of by accident, because you know Gary's a fly fisherman, and he's going to teach the dog how to fly fish. So she's going to be called Fly.
Oh, that's a lovely name. What kind of a dog is she?
She's a black Labrador. Oh. So I'll send you a picture of her and her 8 brothers and sisters. It's kind of cute.
That is so exciting.
Yeah. So 2 more sleeps, and we'll have her. So Paul, that's what we're doing to help us with our walks. What else? The gratitude challenge. Did you do anything, Frances? I can't remember. You were going to the beach at sunrise and doing crazy things like that, weren't you?
Crazy. Yeah, I was on the beach this morning, actually. A different beach, but it was, oh my God, it was stunning. So yeah, nature, I think, is a wonderful thing. And I appreciate not everybody has it on the doorstep, like I'm lucky to have. But it does something. Like, it really does something. The sea, the sky, the sun, the moon, all of it, the trees. It's out in nature is a really good one.
Brilliant. Geraldine has joined us. Nice to see you here again, Geraldine. Happy New Year. I'm wondering if Michelle and Catherine and Geraldine are our old crew from back in the days have any tips we can give Paul for what's helped you guys through lockdown. So I know that we would use this forum for helping with any mental health topics or questions. And I know that we did have a whole thing planned for Christmas and about the difficulty of Christmas, but that never happened.
There's the difficulty of Christmas, isn't it? Yeah.
But now we're out the other end of Christmas, so all the difficulties that were there are all now gone.
Yes, gone. When you say gone, Maeve, talk to me about that. Where are they gone?
Well, they're gone to another
year.
For another 300 and say 50 days. We don't have to think about it.
Yeah. True. Self-care, very important, isn't it? And I think sometimes in the busyness, especially the busyness that happens around Christmas, I don't know about you, but I didn't experience it much this year, thankfully. And when I did, there was one day that I just started to feel it, and I gave myself a good talking to. I said, don't get sucked in. It's a palpable, because it's a collective. Everybody's in the rush for Christmas, then you can almost feel it. You know, even when you're sitting in the car in traffic, you can feel it. It's that frantic energy, that stressed out energy. So yeah, that's gone.
The
And then
next year.
we're dealing with quite another collective with the pandemic. But yeah, Christmas can be hard.
That's something that I don't think about very often, how the collective energy can feed into us all, and we have to be mindful. Is this mine, or is this the collectives?
Yeah. No, I've felt it a lot. And that's, I think, what I don't like about Christmas, the build up. You know, a lot of people love the build up, and then when Christmas Day arrives, it's a bit of an anticlimax. I don't like the build up. I find it too stressy. And again, that might be around when I'm talking about self-care, that I need to become more aware of my energy getting pulled into, or other people's energy pulling me in, you know, and it all gets a bit jumbled. But yeah, I felt it, and I've spoken to a few people who felt it.
And so then, that when you talk about having a talk into yourself, what does that sound like?
Well, it sounded a bit like, Frances, there's no need to get stressed. You know, you're cooking a dinner at home. That's all you're doing. There's no need to get stressed out. Like, it's little things, right? Because I got new curtains for my sitting room that I wanted up for Christmas. Now, I didn't have time. In the 2-3 months before Christmas, I did not have time. The curtains arrived and they stayed in the box. But I thought between the 22nd and the 25th that the curtains were going to get up. Just like that. They were gone. And they didn't, right? The curtain pole got put up. And I started to get a bit frantic, and I thought, I have to, because little things like hooks, you know, I didn't have the correct hooks. And I was thinking, okay, well, what I'll do is I'll just have to go up to the shops and, you know, get them. On Christmas Eve, now, I needed to have a talk with myself. There was no way I was going up to a shop like that on Christmas Eve. For what? Curtain hooks, that the curtains can go up another time. So that's what I mean about getting drawn into the expectation that things have to be done.
Yeah.
Or look a certain way. For what? It was another day. We didn't miss them.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? So, I'm not sure how we'll move forward. I'm just looking at the time now. Imagine half an hour. Where does the time go?
It's you and me, Maeve.
Rambling away as usual, and it's lovely to see some of the old faces back here supporting us in our rambling tangents, and new faces as well, Paul. So we might throw another live on before you go back to school, Frances.
Yeah. Yes. That would be nice.
If you have time, and we could, and if there's anything in particular that you'd like us to discuss or to flesh out a little bit more, and instead of our usual ramblings, just leave it in the comments here below. And we're part of your support team, and as we are part of each other's support team in yet another lockdown. Another lockdown.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year, Frances.
And you, Maeve. Lovely to see you.
And when the new pup arrives, I'll send you a photograph.
And videos, lots of videos.
Lots of videos. We'll be swapping baby and puppy photographs. Happy New Year, everybody.
Bye-bye.